begin the day very well. You get up, you drink your cup of coffee, everything's nice, you've rested all night. And then the first thought hits you. You have to send this email. And it's very quickly followed by the second thought, you have to cook lunch. And the third one, I have to reach work on time. And the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth. And pretty soon, within 5 minutes, you've got a list of a dozen things that have to be done right now. Immediately. They require your attention immediately. And as soon as you get to do that, somebody calls you. I don't know if you know the frustration of that. You want to just hang up the phone, but you know you can't, because you want to talk to this person too. It's very easy to lose your centeredness, because we've got so many things on our plate and we haven't prioritized it correctly. What is important and what isn't? You speak to your mother each day, and that's a priority. It doesn't matter how busy you are, how many things you have to do. You call for that 2 minutes, even 2 minutes, just to say, Mom, are you okay? And then you attend to something else. The problem is, we never give 100% to one task. Why is it that we feel scattered? Because while I'm sending the email, I'm thinking about the list that I have to prepare. I'm not focused on the email that I have to send. And then I make mistakes. I find I've sent the flyer with the wrong date. Now, had I been focused, completely focused on what I was doing and checked everything, that would not have happened. You're working on a patient and your phone goes ding, and the temptation to just quickly look and see what's happening is overwhelming. Overwhelming. We live by our phones. Cannot keep it away for even an hour, because you never know what you might miss. It is this hunger for every experience that completely makes us lose it. We end up doing half-hearted tasks. We end up never getting anywhere. Making a schedule has helped me a lot. Because I sit down for 5 minutes before the start of my day, right after my meditation. That comes first, by the way. Nothing interferes with that. I get up and I do my meditation and my breathing, and then I attend to anything else. As soon as you do that, you've already developed that inner centeredness and that enthusiasm to get through the day. And then when you make that list, it's a very comprehensive list. And I go through it every hour to see how much I've completed. It just reminds me. And whatever gets left over, I don't beat myself. I don't get frustrated. I don't get angry. I just leave it for the next day. There's always time to do everything, to get to everything. But if you don't pay attention to each task that you do, it has no value. Trying to cook when you're talking on the phone and doing the dishes makes the food without any prana. It is nutritionless, because the major ingredient that goes into your cooking is your love. Your love for the ones you're feeding. If you say, oh my God, I have to cook, I just feel bad for the person that has to eat that food. And I'm guilty of that many days. But I've told myself that this is a very honorable task that I do, preparing food for my family. And I want to give it the best. And I notice the days that I'm rushed the salt is too much or too little. It gets caught or burnt or something goes wrong with the food. And it's never right. But the days I take 15 minutes more to just focus on what I'm doing, I'll cook from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock and then I will attend to anything else. I stay focused. When I'm talking on the phone, I don't do other jobs. That kind of limits me. But I like to pay attention to who I'm speaking to. And I don't take other calls when I'm talking to one person. It's another thing people do to you, don't they? 1 minute, can you just hold on? And then you're just holding on for the next 10 minutes and they've completely forgotten about you and are talking to someone else. That's rude. That's rude. Whoever you're speaking to, give them some respect and speak to them and only to them. Doesn't it bother you when you go to a counter and the lady is not even looking at you while she's talking? Busy doing some paperwork, not even making eye contact, not even giving you that one moment of respect that you're here for a query and she needs to answer you. She can answer your question in about 10 or 15 seconds and get back to what she's doing. But we don't have the time, nor do we care about what anybody else is doing, which is why we don't give them the time of day. You try to multitask. Try to get as much into the day as possible. And the end result is more often than not a mishmash. You wrote 3 emails with 14 errors in them. You cooked food but it got burnt. You brought the mail in but left it on the car. You tried to water the plants and wet the floor and left the mug there. You talked to several people but you have no idea what you said to them and you kept saying, I'll talk to you later. And you get a feeling of being unsatisfied at the end of the day, like you got nothing achieved. Nothing was ever done. It all happens, it all gets done. It all gets done when it's time. 100% attention in action is what the Gita teaches us. You don't worry about what's going to happen. You don't worry about the results of your action. You give 100% of your effort to any action, however small it may be. It could be something as small as answering a query. You're working with a patient, but you're busy setting up the machine, but she has a real concern. You stop for a moment and give her a look of kindness and answer her question, and the difference that it makes the difference between heaven and earth. We attended a course one time and it was an excellent course. It was a silence course and all of that. Unfortunately, not every teacher that teaches the course is the master. After the course, my husband had a question and he went and asked him. He says, I've taught you everything that I've taught in these last few days. If you haven't got it, that's too bad. There's nothing more I have to tell you. Yeah, perhaps his attention wasn't on the course 100% because somehow he missed it. The answer he was looking for. We have to take time for others, because not just to snap an answer back, but to give a moment of compassion and care to them. Because that's all we're looking for. That's all we're looking for. And at the end of the day, nobody has a roster with the number of tasks you needed to complete. Honestly, nobody does. If you're at work, you work. And if you're cooking, you're cooking. And if you're writing emails, you're writing emails. You can't do one when you're supposed to be doing the other because you haven't given it the attention it deserves. Relationships also are like that. When you're with a person, are you with that person 100%? Are you giving, is your effort in the relationship 100%? Or like the way I was talking, you're wondering, what is the last date I can back out of this? We do that, right? We do that with people. We don't trust them. We're very suspicious of their motivations. And we don't give our best to them. You give your best not for the other person, but for yourself. But for yourself, just the knowledge that whatever I did it with 100% effort, that is reward enough. The results don't come immediately. The results come from a feeling of completeness, of satisfaction, of comfort in the space that you're in. Secure in the knowledge that I have given my best to this. I see some skeptical faces. Try it. Try giving your best. You can't think that I will meditate and everything will take care of itself. No. All meditation will do will prepare you to give that 100% effort. When you're in action, you are in action. You're not in la la land, thinking that life is just, I am the divine, it'll all happen. Life is just going to fall into my lap. The time has come, it's my time, everything is going to work out. No. The effort that you put in has to be pure. And we don't do that. That is why we get scattered. That is why we make mistakes. That is why we drive 45 in a 30-mile zone. Because we're talking on our phone while we're driving. And we miss the sign. Because you tried to text at a quick text. Looking up, quickly putting okay, how it gives you the hints. I've got my eyes on the road, but I missed the sign that says 35. And now I have a ticket. You don't text while you drive, of course, because it's dangerous for your health, but it's also that you're not giving 100% to your driving. There are so many distractions on the road. And if you don't have your full attention at that point of time, it's terrible. Next time you go on a flight, imagine if the pilot was doing a million other things. Talking to his friend. Oops! He has to give 100% effort, right? You're hoping that he does. What about the surgeon that's taking care of your knee? The surgery. Did she say left? Yeah. You're hoping that he's giving you 100% effort. And you're hoping the dentist who cleans your teeth didn't pass his exam because of extra credit. Right? You want everyone to put in 100% effort. But it begins with you. It begins with you. When you put in the effort, your day is much more organized and satisfying. There is a time to exercise, a time to cook, a time to work, a time to rest, a time to watch TV. There's time for everything. There's 24 hours in a day. And what doesn't get left, doesn't get done, there's 24 hours tomorrow and the day after. And if this lifetime is over, there's at least 25 more lifetimes that we can think of. No rush. Got all the time in the world to do whatever we have to do. If we just refocus our energy on the present moment, it all comes down to that, right? Ultimately, it's this moment. What are you doing now? What are you engaged in now? Be here 100%. It's very distracting when you go and talk to an audience and there's some people in the back looking at their phones. They haven't heard a word of what you've said. You may be young, but it is very distracting for a teacher, for a speaker, for a priest, people who want to get your attention with whatever they do. Whatever you do, give it your undivided attention. It deserves that. And when you give it your undivided attention, you get much more from it. You listen to me talking from beginning to end. There may be 5 things you take home with you. If you've zoned out as soon as I said something, you've lost it. You might as well have not been here. For that you stay home and be where your mind is. Your mind is like the wind. It can't decide where it wants to be. It goes here, it goes there, it goes fast, it goes slow. But you have to channel that wind through a very small aperture and only allow a little at a time. Otherwise you'll get blown away. Completely blown away. You don't know what you're doing. You're overwhelmed. And then you say the magic word, I'm stressed. I have stress. Of course you do. Of course you do, because you haven't been present. You haven't done it one at a time. You can't have 3 children at the same time. I mean, you can. But it's much better one at a time. Let's put it that way. And even, giving birth, it is still one at a time. Doesn't happen 3 together. 2 together, one after another. Only one thing, nature is such that it wants you to focus on only one thing. But we are so hungry for experiences, so hungry to get more, to achieve more, to get that success, that we put unnecessary pressure on ourselves. It's okay, relax. Enjoy your life. Do what you can. This is not a competition. This is an exercise in enjoyment. What's the point of it all if you're not having a good time? What's the point of it all? Honestly, if you're miserable and unhappy and stressed out and sad all the time, dissatisfied, what's the point? You have to be happy. And when you're in that kind of a mood, mistakes happen. But even mistakes are okay. Mistakes are just mistakes. You don't have to be cruel to yourself and so hard on yourself that you want to carry a mountain all by yourself. You don't have to. You just have to complete the task in front of you this minute and do it well. That's all you have to do. It all gets done. The course will happen, the events that you plan will happen, your exams will be taken, the children will be born, they'll all go through college. Everybody will be fine. Everything is going to be fine. How do I know? I just do. I just do. And all you have to do is to believe that. And it can change the quality of your day. Because when you're overworked and pressured and you think it's all going to be fine, I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm going to take one aha moment. And you step outside and look at the green grass and you go, aha. And you admire the beauty around you. It makes it all okay. Because you've released that and come into the present moment. And that's all you need to do. Stay in this moment and go through the day, go through your life, one at a time.